Say hello to your new friend. This cute barn owl is a watercolor project that you can be successful with. If I can paint an animal, you can too. So let's get started. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Shayda, and today I have another watercolor video for you. It's been a minute since we've done any birds or animals, so today we're going to do this cute little barn owl watercolor. It's a little bit seasonal, going into winter. I think this is a cute painting, and birds and animals are not my main subject, you know this. So if you are a complete beginner, know that this is something you can do. We're gonna go through it from very start to finish, step by step, and it's super simple. I've really tried to make something that is easy and achievable, but that has a really cute outcome. So let's grab our paints and get started. But before we jump in, I just wanna mention that our video today is sponsored by Dashlane. Dashlane is a desktop and mobile app designed to make all the most irritating and risky parts of your digital life simple and safer. As someone who works from home, I often try to get out and work from public spaces like coffee shops. And when I'm there, I like to be able to do private things like banking. With their VPN, you can bank and do other private work from public spaces using shared Wi-Fi. Use their VPN with Country Select for safe and private browsing. Dashlane is also a password manager and digital wallet. It keeps all your passwords for all your accounts in one place and will autofill them for you. All the passwords it generates and saves are saved on your device, so even if Dashlane were compromised, your passwords are still safe. And right now, you guys can use my link in the description below to download Dashlane for free. You can also use it for free. They have a free version that you can use on one device indefinitely. You'll also get a 30-day trial of Dashlane Premium version, which includes multiple devices and the VPN. And if you decide to stay on Premium after the trial, you'll get 10% off using promo code Shayda Campbell. We're going to start by doodling some little owls together, so grab a scrap piece of paper and a pencil. And a lot of my owls start the same way, with a little heart-shaped face. And then I'll do like a random shape around that for the body, 2 little eyes and a little triangle for the beak, and maybe some wings. So you can keep it very simple. Let's go over this in pen. I should be doing this in pen. We've got a heart-shaped face, 2 little eyes in the beak. You could literally do a square, a circle, an oval for the body, and then mark off some wings. Maybe a few feathers on the chest or on those wings. Let's do another one here. I am going to do these sort of googly eye shapes and do a scalloped edge around that. And of course, we'll add our little eyes in there, just 2 little dots in our little beak. And this one, I'm just doing a random shape. It's almost square, like with a square with rounded corners, but he has some little ears. And then of course, we mark off those wings. So you can see how I can change things up slightly, but still keep it quite simple. Now the thing is, I haven't done a lot of prep work for this video. I'm doodling these owls for the first time, and the reason I'm drawing a bunch of different ones is because I'm not sure which one I'll use for my painting. So I think drawing something a bunch of times can help you to work out the kinks, figure out what you like about one illustration and what you don't like about another. And then you can choose your favorite and refine it, and that's the one we're going to use for our watercolor painting. Now here's an alternative to starting the owl with the heart shape. You could do a circle and then just do a little indent there to show where the face is going to be. So same outcome, but just a different way of getting there. This one I'm going to sketch in some more detailed eyes, so I'll do them in pencil first. This owl's quite cute. She has big eyelashes and big black pupils, and if you do the eyes large enough, it's a good idea to leave a little highlight there. So depending how large the pupils are, you may want a tiny little white spot to give them that spark of life. And again, we're doing a very simple body shape, some feathers, and then I feel like this lady needs some ears. I think I put those too far down on her head. She kind of started to look like a cat, but that's okay. That's why we're practicing. I'm doing a couple just variations on the same sort of thing here. And then I'm going to drop down into this corner and try a slightly different owl. This guy has a similar face with the heart shape. and then we'll give him a body, but we're going to draw him on a bit of an angle. So we'll do one wing off to the side and then his big belly over here on the other side, and maybe you could just see a sliver of wing there. He's quite cute, I like him. So now what I want to do is try to refine those images, and I really liked the last one I did. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing a version of him in pencil, just sketching it out. I'm actually going to do the wing on the other side, but you can see I've still started with the heart-shaped face, his two eyes and a little beak. His body is a pretty nondescript shape, and he's got one little wing there. So I'm working with the same formula, but I'm refining it. I'm giving my owl just a touch more detail, and I like the way he's coming together. I'm going to try that one more time. Heart-shaped face, two little eyes. You guys are like, we get it. Two eyes and a little triangle beak. And then the body is pretty cute and chubby, and we'll give him a wing on the one side there. So, okay, you can see my bad drawing here. He kind of looks like a scary penguin, but I've just had some fun and I've worked out my doodles. I really liked this guy in the corner, the last one that I did. So what I've done here is tried to sort of refine him and try him on different angles. And now what I'll do is I'll go over it with tracing paper. And as I say in every video where we trace, it allows you to keep what you like and change what you don't. It really allows you to refine your own illustration. So I'm trying to angle his face a little more in this trace and just make sure that the shape of his body is exactly the way I want it. I can do a little grid here, make sure the face isn't too crooked. And then I will trace it again. You know, why not? You can fold that tracing paper over and just keep refining. There's nothing wrong with tracing your own work. You know, if you were a writer, you wouldn't start fresh every day. You keep editing the work that you've already done. And I think this is so important. Sometimes we're afraid of that blank page when we go to start painting. And it's really nice if you can do a design or an illustration in your sketchbook first when there's not as much pressure, and then we'll transfer it to the watercolor paper. So what I'm going to do is I have my final trace. I'm going to put some graphite on the back here, just using a pencil, and then I will tape him into my watercolor sketchbook. This is a Canson XL notebook, and it has 140-pound watercolor paper in it. So it's great for doing little paintings like this one. And by tracing over him, I've transferred my image, and now I'm ready to start painting. Today I'll be using some paints from Micador. I have their set of 36 brilliant watercolor discs, and I'll just be using these two sets of 6 because I really like the colors, the dark browns and the sage green. And the first thing I'm doing is mixing up a beautiful beigey color using their pearl white. I really like this pearlescent color. It just has a little bit of a metallic sparkle to it. And I've mixed in a little of the brown, and I've got this really light, almost pearl beige color. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my brush, I'm using a number 6 synthetic round brush here. This is also from Micador. And I'm just making a splotchy area of color surrounding my owl. Now the color circle ends right where the owl sits, and I'm just doing a very nondescript shape that sort of fades away into the rest of the page. You can place a bit of a darker pearlescent brown here at the bottom, allow a little wet into wet action to happen, or you can just do a sort of flat color surrounding the owl. And if you don't have a pearlescent color, not to worry. Any beigey hue would look good here. And then I've mixed up a similar color using just a bit of white and brown for this one. Actually, I did have to grab another of the palettes for that, so I did end up using 3 of the 6 sets of 6, and I used white and brown to mix up this creamy color. And you can just see I'm filling in the owl's breast and his face with this really light color. It's just a hint darker than the white page. And I'm using a little of the darker brown color, darker beige, and I'm putting a little around his eyes, and you can see because the area is wet, it seeps out in a very natural way. And I've added a little extra color at the top of his breast there as well. Then we're going to let that dry completely. So I left mine for about 10 minutes, maybe 15. I want to check that it's completely dry. We don't want any seeping, any messiness. And then I'm going to come back in here with a nice brown. For this one, I mixed their sepia and the brown together, and I am just filling in his wing area. You can see I'm adding more water to the color as I get towards the bottom of the wing. That'll just give me a nice natural look. And because the beige, the light beige areas are no longer wet, I don't have to worry about the paint hitting them and rubbing up right against them. It's not going to bleed if the area is not wet, if it's dry. For the feathering around his face, I'm using these tiny little horizontal or vertical strokes. I'm just filling in the top of his head here, but you can see now I'm doing these tiny little strokes, and it gives the look of the face being feathered. So we don't want a stiff, harsh line there. We want these little broken lines to indicate his cute, feathery face. And then I will fill in his just the sliver of the other wing here with that nice dark brown, and allowing it to get a little lighter as it goes towards the bottom of his body. All right, and with that done, I am going to mix up some beautiful shades of dark green. I am mixing sage green, and then I'm mixing a lighter, truer green with a little bit of black and blue, so that I get these really cool, dark, rich greens, because the next thing I want to paint is some evergreen. And how I'm doing this is I start with a line indicating where this branch will sit. And then I just do these tiny straight brush strokes to give the look of the owl sitting in a green, an evergreen forest, in a winter forest. And I allow the paint to get a little lighter, so I add extra water as I move outward from center. So where that beige circle fades, I also want my evergreen sprigs to fade in that area as well, so that this illustration doesn't just look like it's sitting heavily on the page. I want to incorporate my painting into the negative space, into the white area on the page. And I can do that and make this really pleasing design by fading these evergreen sprigs just slightly as they reach the outer circle. I'm going to flip the page upside down here to make it easier for me to paint the pine sprigs on this side of the page. Just do whatever you have to when you're painting to make it easy for you to make those brush strokes. If you're more comfortable pulling the brush towards you, do that. If you'd rather push it away, do that and move the page as you need to. As the rest of our little owl dries, I will add some detailing to him. Just a few little strokes of the brush here, of just the tip of that round brush. We'll add some little feathering to his chest. We can also add a little bit of shading at this point. And I'm doing these tiny little details around his eyes just to give a little extra shading around the eye there. And I'll fill in his beak. This is when a round brush is so great, because a round brush has a large belly so that it holds lots of paint, but it has a very fine point so that you can do detail work, but you can also lay down larger areas of color. And that's exactly what you'll see me doing here as I add some feathering to his wings. I just do one little stroke of the brush, either pulling or pushing, and it gives the look of feathers. I've mixed up a brown that's just slightly darker for this work, and then I'm going to add just a touch of black to his eye. And when you're doing the eyes, start really small, make sure they look good, that they're in the right place, that they look good as a pair, and then you can start to enlarge them and get them to the size that you want them. And all this detail work is completely optional. You know, you'll just do as much detail as you're comfortable with. I'm going to finish him up by adding just a little bit of shading where his wings meet his belly here, maybe a few more lines to indicate feathers on his head, and then I'm all done the painting portion. The last step of this cute little illustration is to simply take a paint pen. I'm using one from Sakura, and we're going to add some snow to our little owl watercolor. Now you could use white gouache for this or a gel pen. I love the paint marker because you can see the tip of that brush gives just the right circle for a nice falling snow effect. And it's super easy to use as well. Well, that is my little owl watercolor all done. I have challenged myself to paint some sort of living creature that is not a plant, and I think it went really well. I had fun doodling owls, and I hope you will too. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I will see you soon with a new tutorial, so don't forget to subscribe.